My stepmother tried to erase my late mom's memory, so I exposed her lies at the family reunion. My mom passed away when I was 9, cancer. My dad was devastated, but not for long. Less than a year later, he introduced me to Rebecca. She was warm at first, overly sweet, like she was trying too hard. But once they married, the mask slipped. Subtle at first, removing my mom's photos from the living room, replacing her jewelry box with her own, donating clothes she claimed were too painful to keep. When I confronted her, she'd say things like, "Sweetheart, it's better for your father if we move on." My dad, desperate to keep the peace, would just nod. Over time, Rebecca rewrote our home. She redecorated every room. My mom's cookbooks disappeared. Even the quilt my grandmother made for my mom's wedding vanished. She discouraged my dad from visiting my mom's grave, saying it was unhealthy to dwell on the past. But what hurt most was how she spoke about my mom to the rest of the family. She'd tell stories painting my mom as irresponsible, disorganized, even neglectful. At first, some family members dismissed it, but over the years, her constant narrative started to stick. "Poor Richard," they'd say. "He finally found someone stable after everything he went through." I held my tongue for years. I was a kid. I didn't have the power to fight her, but I never forgot. The tipping point came at our annual family reunion, my first one home from college. Rebecca decided to give a toast. In front of everyone, she said, "I've done my best to step in where others fell short. To bring order and stability to this family." My blood boiled. The room was silent, awkward. My dad shifted uncomfortably but stayed quiet. I couldn't. I stood up. "That's funny, Rebecca," I said, voice steady, "because I remember a different version of events." She forced a tight smile. "Honey, not now." No, I cut her off. Now, I pulled out a folder I'd prepared. Photos, letters, and documents I had secretly gathered for years. My mom's academic awards, volunteer certificates, letters she wrote to family, even a journal where she planned every birthday, every holiday, every detail of my childhood. You've spent years convincing everyone my mom was unstable. But here's the truth. I read aloud excerpts from my mom's journal. Her excitement for my birthdays, her worries about me starting school, her notes about my dad's business trips and how she balanced everything alone. I pulled out the family quilt that Rebecca claimed was lost. I had found it stuffed in a trash bag in the attic 2 weeks earlier. Gasps filled the room. My aunt whispered. "I always wondered where that went." Rebecca's face drained of color. "You don't understand," she stammered. "No, you don't," I snapped. "You tried to erase her because you could never replace her." My dad finally stood, his voice breaking. "Is this true, Rebecca?" She stayed silent. He turned to the family. I let her convince me to forget. I let her rewrite everything. The family reunion turned into a reckoning. My dad filed for divorce within months. Rebecca's reputation shattered. Extended family cut her off completely. My father, guilt-ridden, began therapy and started visiting my mom's grave again. He even helped me establish a scholarship fund in her name. Sometimes people think they can bury the past, but no matter how deep they dig, the truth has a way of clawing its way back up.